For the first course, we're going to start with the P.Louise base in Rumour 2.5 and the Puff Puff Pass by KimChi in SUNTAN Bronzage, however you pronounce that. So here I'm just taking a random brush. Don't ask me where I get my brushes from. They're centuries, years old. And I'm just blending out. Blend, blend, blend. Do your thing. Dissociate. Pat. All of that. I'll use a beauty blender to pat it down and make sure everything's smooth. I didn't trust the girlies that were like, do your eyes first. I do now, because the fallout backspace on the boy is crazy. So now I'm a do your eyes first person. For our next course, we're going to be using the Pro Pigment Palette Volume 5 from the ABH Norvina palette, and we're using the color D5. And here I'm just blending in a circle, going crazy. Throw that ass in a circle. Throw that eyeshadow in a circle. And we're just darkening it up, making sure that it's dark and popped and locked. You get the picture. For this next part, I used the P.Louise base to do the up-down method. See how there's 2 dots now? It's because I looked down and looked up, whatever. And now I have this base to go ahead and cut my crease. And the reason I do that is because if I were to just do like a regular cut crease on my own, when I look normally, it's gone. Cut crease gone. So I'm using the KimChi powder to smooth that out. Then I'm going to be using the color C3 from the Norvina palette to put it kind of on the edge of my eye and just buff it out. I'm using a really light hand here at some point, so keep that in mind. Don't be too rough. And then I'll just make sure I'm smoothing it out. I'm blending out the lines so they don't look too messy. So that's what I'm doing with this brush right here. I'm just blending everything into each other. Then I'm using the color B3 from the Norvina palette to use that lighter color and put it on the inside. And then I'm going to be using A3, and I'm just smoothing all of those colors together like a pretty little purple rainbow. For the next course, we're using the Swan Ballet liquid eyeshadow from FlowerKnows, and I'm just going to be following along my cut crease and adding a little shimmer to that part. And then there we go. Next, we're going to be using the Danessa Myricks Beauty Linework. I hope I pronounced that right. Eyeliner is my worst enemy, so you either can do it or you can't. That's my advice to you guys. I do this little thing where I will turn my head and pray to whatever gods for this to look good. And see, I already messed up. Can we curse on here? I don't even know. I messed up. But it's okay. We're gonna bring it together in the end. Just trust whatever you believe in. We've been eating a lot, so we're gonna take a break and serve face. And we're gonna start with Set the Stage by LAWLESS. This primer, I don't know what it does, but it does something. And then we're gonna move on to TIRTIR. This is not, it's a little too light. It was so close, but it is good coverage, girl, so we're gonna use it. We're gonna bring it together in the end. So, I heard more colors are supposed to be coming out, so slay to that. And we're gonna move on to the FENTY concealer in 385. We're also going to be using the Pillow Talk Matte Beauty Blush Wand in Dream Pop. I also do this thing where I crush pink eyeshadow, any one of them, and I put them in the Fenty concealer, and it does wonders. Also, down my nose bridge, I'm using the Most Concealer by KimChi. It just, when I use a brighter color, I feel like it helps my bridge pop more. And we'll be eating with all 3 of these brushes that you see here. So we're going to blending out my concealer with the By Mario brush, and it's in F5. And that brush, that makes my concealer blend smooth, you guys. Like, look at that. Delicious, tasty, yum, nom, 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 you know. And then here I'm using a brush to do my nose contour, and that brush is called the, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's the BS Small, I think. Don't know where I got that from, don't ask. I'm pretty sure you could search it and find it. And what I use to blend out my nose contour is the TEOYALL in 370S. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but it's this brush right here. What we love to see it. I like to tap down my nose with the Most Concealer by KimChi, and then I'm going to use the Puff Puff by KimChi, and I'm going to use a brush kind of shaped like this one. I find these press it into your face and create this smooth finish, like bam. What the hell? Different person. Amazing. Show-stopping. Then we're going to be using the Givenchy powder here, and that is in Poplin Mimosa. And next I am going to be using an e.l.f. palette to do my nose contour. I find that putting powder over any oil-based type products you use just helps a smoother finish. So that's what I'm doing here, and I'm also putting it along my cheekbones as well. And then for my blush, I'm going to pat it down with some powder as well, and it's from, you guessed it, e.l.f. I have been a fan of e.l.f. for the longest time. Their products just does something for me. Next, we're going to move on to Charlotte Tilbury in the shade Tan Doré 3. Don't know if I butchered that. Hopefully I didn't. But here we go. We're just going to pat it all over our face. Guys, hear me out. The next step might look like those art tutorials where it's like step 1, draw a circle, and the next step, you're Picasso. See, look, I'm gonna hold your hand when I tell you this. Hopefully you were able to pause and read and understand. Now we're using D5 from the Norvina palette to create that line, and here I'm just buffing it out with a brush. See, the only difference from where we left off is that curve with the P.Louise, and now what I just showed you guys. You guys got this. And now we're moving on to the E5, and I'm just creating that line that you see here, so hopefully you can follow along. Back to Norvina we go for seconds because it was so yummy. We're using the E3 to create this shimmer right here that you can see. Oh, come back. Come back. We can't see you. There we go. Now we're just adding some oomph with the Swan Ballet liquid eyeshadow from FlowerKnows again. And then now you're all bedazzled. There you go. Wow. Amazing. Cool. And now, wow, look at that. Both eyes are now done. We made it there in the end, guys. Woo! RIP to the people that didn't make it, and RIP to the people who are here, because I cannot explain this. Here we go. We're using e.l.f. Woohoo for e.l.f. So I'm going to be trying my hardest. Remember that God we were praying to at the beginning, or whoever or whatever you believe in? Do it again. And it didn't work. This is what happens when you believe. And I don't know what eyelashes these are. They're like individual ones. Pretty sure it's from AliExpress. We're kind of not doing well. This is my first time using individual, but look at her. Oh my gosh. I shouldn't be in charge of telling you guys how to do eyebrows because I don't even know how to do my eyebrows. So just, I'm using a random color. Whoa, we're here. Moving on to dessert, we're using the Ormedic Balming Lip Enhancement Complex by Image Skincare. This has been making my lips so good, especially for someone who doesn't drink water. I survive on 20 cans of Pepsi a day. We're not going to get into that. Here I'm using the Holy Trinity, which is Charlotte Tilbury in Pillow Talk 3 Intense. I'm using Dinner at 8 by Kakian, I think. And then we're also going to be using Sinister Love Cosmetics. I love this color. It's Hex the X, and that's the red that we're going to see finishing off this whole look. So just follow along. This is me tracing over my lips, trying to figure out what I'm doing. Pretty sure I'm doing it pretty badly. Let her cook. No, don't ever hand me anything to cook. This is the only type of cooking I will be doing. Thank y'all. And then I'll just take a random brush and just kind of puff it in my lips. I don't know, it helps somehow, some way, somewhere. Now we're gonna finish off with Lip Injection by Too Faced. And it's the extreme, feel that burn for the lips. And we're not full yet, so we're gonna be using the Pina Colada Highlighter by Glam Light. And she makes me shine brighter than Tori Vega's Lager in Victorious. Look at that. Look at that pop. I tried to make a popping noise. I don't know what sound that was. Finally, we are full with the one size on till dawn. We are serving face. We ate face. And here we are. Oh my God. Yeah. Rar, rar. Mustard hat. Thank you, mustard hat. Thank you for eating at Hollows. Hopefully you enjoyed me serving you nothing but face and disaster. ASMR in 3, 2, 1, go. 8 down. All right.
Order up.